Welcome to Soul Therapy with Chelle. I am Chelle Griffin and I practice as a soul doula. I combine therapeutic knowledge and lived experience with a healthy dose of spiritual exploration. Feel welcome to join me as we learn and grow together, exploring the magic and wonderment of experiencing life on earth as a spiritual being. Hello, my dear listeners. For you, it's probably only been a week or so since you last heard me. For me, it's been several weeks since I last recorded an episode. I've had a beautiful big family holiday away with my darling husband and my two youngest children, and we also enjoyed some time catching up with some beautiful friends. And I had 5 weeks away from home, and my gosh, we were so ready to come home. As much as we loved the adventure and the exploring and the unknown and fun and activity, there's something that's said about coming home and the comforts of being in your own space again. So I am feeling quite well rested. Unfortunately, I arrived home with the beginnings of a pretty bad headache that I'm now on day 4 of a migraine, and thankfully coming out of it. Still very groggy, so bear with me today, but I've missed a week and I noticed that the experience of not being able to deliver an episode as scheduled really played out in a big learning for me. Great way to enter the new year. But here I am learning already. It never stops, does it? Continually evolving, aren't we? And what I noticed, what came up for me when I wasn't in a position to be able to deliver in the way I had committed. I was having technical difficulties. I was out of service. I was unwell when I was in service, and it was just, not meant to happen. And the lesson that came out of that is, whilst I do have this intrinsic trait, desiring order and perfection, I am continually being thrown into chaos to learn that overarching lesson of acceptance that I can, like a tree, bend with the breeze. I can flex and be adaptable and go in flow. And that has been something that, a lifelong lesson for me and for many others, I know. So this was another test, another opportunity to practice resilience and just acceptance, going with what is and being present to my immediate needs and accepting that the only person I was letting down was myself, and I'm the one that makes my rules around my podcast. So I was, that inner voice was really coming down hard and quite punishing. There was some dark night of the soul experiences happening, lots of different layers coming up as a result for the past, lots of releasing, and I was able to get through that meditation, grounding, getting in water. At the time I was on a ship having temperatures, and so the shower was the closest thing I could get for experiencing that release and cleansing and rest, hydration, really honoring what my body was calling for and sitting with the emotions of not being able to deliver what I had committed to myself. And I'm sure you're sitting there going, it's just a podcast episode. What's the big deal? It's a plan I've had in place. I've committed to delivering an episode a week, and to skip that week just, it's the missing domino. Nothing flows if that one's missed. Of course, that's not the truth, that there can be a pause. and so here I am, and it's fitting that today's episode feels to be centered around gratitude. And I know that might sound a bit strange, in the learning and that experience of really grappling with not being able to meet my own expectations and reaching that place of, well, this is what it is. I've got other needs that are higher priority, and this doesn't have to look exactly like I had imagined. It's now a different picture with different parameters and boundaries that I need to flex and work within. And through that lesson learning and that releasing and another level of, this ascension experience that we're having here on earth, I was able to reach a place of gratitude, going, okay, I can bend and flex. I can be okay when things get wobbly and don't go according to plan. I'm not trying to change that part of me. I am a natural planner. I like to have order. I like to feel in control and know what's coming, have a mitigation strategy for every scenario. And the gratitude comes in because this experience has shown me a different perspective on how I can still fundamentally be that person, not have to change those traits about myself, but recognize when they work for me and when they don't. And in that particular moment, that need for control and perfection wasn't working because I just didn't have the capacity to record an episode. I didn't have the physical, emotional, or technical capacity to record the episode as hoped. But this episode wouldn't have been the same if I hadn't have gone through that experience. So here we are in real time showing you what growth is like. Even though I work as a therapist with clients, I'm still a human being. I'm still going through my own growth. I'm still experiencing those moments of uncertainty and needing support for myself as well, as much as I support others. So gratitude, here we are with this beautiful word. It sounds just like, it has a plumpness to it when I think of the word gratitude or gratefulness, or there's just something warm and comforting about the word. So it's not as simple as it sounds, gratitude. In a therapeutic sense, there are 3 types of gratitude. There's the affective trait, which is someone has a like a grateful disposition, like a sunny outlook on life. The Pollyanna-isms, you may remember one of my favorite movies as a child and a young teen. I used to watch it whenever, like Saturday afternoons, or when I was home unwell or school holidays. Pollyanna was this little girl who just always found something to be thankful for, and would like staying with I think her aunt. She was orphaned and staying with her aunt, and who was pretty dour, hadn't had a like emotionally fulfilling and satisfying life. And Pollyanna came and turned like the world upside down for her aunt and those around her in the community with her positivity and ability to see and be really present to being grateful for, the bare thread she was wearing. At least she had some. She just could find that silver lining in everything. And so that's that first affective trait of gratitude. There's also the mood of gratitude, as you know, how it sounds. It's an attitude. Experience of when we embody that fluctuating sense of being thankful in our everyday existence. And then finally, there's that emotional sense of gratitude, the feeling that you experience in your body when someone gives you a gift, or someone offers you a compliment, or you've been thought of, or someone has been thoughtful and acknowledged you or validated you in some way. They're the three ways of, from a therapeutic sense, of gratitude existing in our lives, ever moving, ever in flow. So, gratitude can be, well, not so much disguised, but experienced in many different ways. Other words that have a similar meaning would be like appreciation, thankfulness, gratefulness, acknowledgement, recognition, and the list goes on. But there's this sense that we get in the body, that, for me, I feel a warmth. I notice I get warm, maybe tingly all over if someone acknowledges something that they've received or been told, or wanting to express to me. That feeling met and feeling seen and heard and validated. And that's not our purpose of existence. We don't need to seek that external validation. It's very important that we have that for ourselves first and foremost. But just being met by someone else has a chemical effect on our body. It shifts our energetic frequency, and I notice, like, I'll get a little bit lightheaded, and I've just been paying attention to this, particularly over the last few weeks, that I feel like my heart does this giant single beat, but it doesn't go back to its normal size. It like just swells and stays, as this, I don't know, just like that plumpness that I mentioned before. It's like an internal hug for ourselves, an acknowledgement for who we are, what we're experiencing, how we're being received and met. It's, I don't know, I'm really curious to hear what your physical experience is of gratitude. Is that something you've thought of before? Moving throughout your day, it's one thing to like notice something that we're grateful for, but to embody that gratitude, lean into the emotion, and the mood, and the energetic sense as well. Like, what are you noticing? It's like, is the energy around you buzzing when you experience a grateful mood, the emotion of gratitude? What is coming into play? What are you thinking at the time, and how is your body responding? They're like, be curious. Just be curious about that. So why does gratitude have such a powerful effect on our being? We all know that what we think, we create. So when we lead with like love and gratitude, we're going to be more likely met with the same in kind, that same energetic frequency, basically. So the same can be said when we lead with fear and worry, then that's us energetically creating our worst case scenario. So wouldn't we rather live a life from a place of positivity, not the buzzwords of toxic positivity and and all of that, but like genuine, authentic, that disposition of coming from a place of, okay, what can I be grateful for here? Sometimes it doesn't become apparent in the moment. Sometimes that blessing will present itself later. Sometimes it never does. It's where faith and trust comes into play. But really just going about our day and with an awareness of what we are grateful for, we can bring that into our daily practice, and I promise you, you will notice a shift in what your world starts to look like for you, and what you attract. We are essentially like energetic beings magnetizing what we think we create. So what we put out there is what comes back tenfold. So wouldn't it make more sense to put out positivity rather than doubt or anger or frustration or negativity, and receive that back tenfold? So I invite you to experiment with this over the coming days. It doesn't have to be a complicated process. Just notice just the little things, bring into awareness, even if it's just at the end of the day when you're lying in bed ready to go to sleep, your head's on the pillow, maybe you meditate before you go to sleep, maybe you read a book or listen to music or have a chat with your partner, cuddle your dog, whatever your nightly ritual is. Maybe consider incorporating just 30 seconds, a minute of feeling gratitude, reflecting over your day and noticing the moments that you just felt uplifted, that something went your way that you were really grateful for. It might have been the pleasure of, God, just before I started recording, I noticed one of my pot plants needed a good soak. So I put her in the sink. I call all my pot plants her, and trimmed off some of her dead foliage. And, I'll go back out there and she'll already be looking uplifted, just from a little nourishment and water. The experience and the process of tidying her up, giving her a soak, so that in turn she looks green and beautiful and, activates more oxygen in the space, and that in turn will just calm the space. And for me, and that's just a simple act of watering a pot plant. There's so many, like millions of moments throughout the day that we can find gratitude for, like being able to make our bed in the morning and fluff the pillows and admire that sense of order. There I go again. Love order. But just acknowledging that simple process sets you up for the day, and being grateful that, I've come home to my beautiful bed, and my room and my space. My husband and I were lying in bed yesterday, waking up and hearing the cicadas and the insects just in full flight. I'm going, oh my God, it's summer. It's summer in Australia. Gosh, we have missed this. And then the kookaburra started calling, and we're just like, oh gosh, it's so good to be home. And as grateful as we were to be really present, visiting the places we holidayed in and experiencing what waking up there felt like. There's this deep, deep gratitude for the home that we've created, for this dream that we have longed for quite some time, and we've manifested, and here we are really present to it. That is just going to multiply tenfold because we're putting out that energy. It might be that you're really grateful you've got a job to go to at the moment, that it's paying the bills, grateful that there hasn't been a mortgage rate increase this month, grateful that the kids are going back to school and we're able to get back into a routine. Some of us feel really grateful to have a sense of routine. It's just the little things, a sip of coffee, a blue sky. Gosh, I invite you to just spend a moment at the end of the evening. There's other practical ways in which you can integrate gratitude practices, like through rituals or through a gratitude journal. Just like a really good way to start is just having a journal and write down three things you're grateful for. Sometimes that can be really hard to get started, so set yourself up for success. These little shifts will just snowball, and suddenly you'll be unaware of how aware you are and present you are throughout your day. And like, I catch myself thanking the archangels, making a situation go smooth, or being able to hand over the how of something that I just feel really perplexed with and go, I don't know how I'm going to problem solve this, and go, oh my God, I've got my guides, my archangels, and I have a chat and I express what my uncertainty is, what my fears are, and I hand over the how and have faith and trust. It's not from putting my head in the sand. It's going, I could sit here and go through all the worst case scenarios of this situation and get riddled with fear and worry, and none of them could play out in reality. So if I just hand over that bubble of fear and go, I don't need to be concerned about this right now, it's not playing out in reality, I'm going to hand it over and trust that it's all just going to evolve how it's meant to be. And a lesson may pop up, a growth opportunity, but it's coming from that practice of gratitude and trust and faith and love that's going to win over fear and, self-loathing and worry and stress and anger every time. There's room for all those emotions, but it doesn't have to run the show. I think I'd much rather be in the driver's seat as gratitude than anything else. And we are energetic beings, and there's so many books and theories out there, like field theory, law of attraction. There's like Dolores Cannon has written about it. The Holographic Universe is an amazing book, so I've been told. I'm going to get slapped on my hands here by my spiritual book club because I still haven't got past chapter 4, but I've committed to reading this book this year. But what I have read of that book is all about the quantum physics and of frequencies and vibration and energy, and like attracts like. So it's when we put that gratitude out there, we get to experience and receive that gratitude being reciprocated back to us. We attract that like-minded being. We are then noticing there's more positive people in our life. There's I've talked about the green flags of our life, previous episode. That comes from gratitude. So that one little word just opens up a whole new world. And I know I'm not saying anything new here. This is just an opportunity for us to lean in and think together and feel, embody and embrace that beautiful sensation of being grateful for who we are right now, what we have, where we are, when we're supported, how we're supported. It's all there for us right now. It's just being really present to it and deepening our awareness and integrating that sense of gratitude throughout our day. That's just going to keep us uplifted, uplift our mood, improve our vitality, allow us to have a more restful sleep, which in turn nourishes and allows our brain to rest and process. And like, what can be wrong about gratitude? So thank you for listening today. I love it when you reach out and respond to my episodes. Feel welcome to do that. My Instagram or Facebook _Chelle Griffin _ and feel welcome to reach out to me through my website if you would like a session. I offer soul-led mentoring, angel message readings, and obviously I practice as a Gestalt psychotherapist. I work with women and couples, and I do Reiki, either in person or via distance sessions. So if you feel called to work with me, feel welcome to reach out. And until next time, take care and go gently. Thank you for showing up for yourself by listening to Soul Therapy with Chelle. Feel welcome to subscribe to my podcast, share the pod with your friends, family, colleagues and neighbours, and please, if you are willing, I would absolutely love a 5-star review to give my little pod a boost in the algorithms. For further detail on how to work with me, please visit my website www.chellegriffin.com or find me on the socials. I hope you'll join me on my next episode. Till then, go gently and intentionally. With care, Chelle.